Hi, Judith Reedy here. This is the Creative Zone, and we have been working on a couple projects. We've been working on some portraiture, and I told you that I needed to let my portraits, the underpainting, dry. Started a landscape painting today, and the portraiture, and let me just show you a little bit about what we're doing. These are a little wet. And these are all studies to be done before the painting, but they're a little wet. They're not real wet, but if I were to paint on them, that would lift the paint, and I don't want to do that. But this is, I have here what's called toned canvas, or imprint mura, and I have it in, this is burnt sienna, this is yellow ochre, and this is burnt umber. And on top, you can see that there's a drawing, a painting of, and it's not done, of in burnt umber. And I have to let all of this dry, particularly this. Next thing I will be doing is I will be using some white, and I will really be building up the lights. And I'll be using white and some black. Or I may decide to use white and burnt umber together. But basically I will be making, refining the values even further than they are already. But it'll be primarily gray with no color. And then that's what I'll be working on next. And then after that, then I will be basically putting glazes on to show the pinks and the peaches and the highlights and the other colors, but they're going to be glazing, very thin coats of that. But for now, we're just waiting for these to dry. And it'll probably be not till about 4 days, 5 days. So I'm going to put those back. And what I started today was a landscape painting. I had taken it from a photograph I had a couple years ago. You can see behind me here. Maybe I can show you that a little bit more. I should have moved this earlier, but didn't. Okay. Back here, you can see two winter scenes, same time. And these two were begun basically the same way, but a little tighter. But I'm this one and the one that's back here. You can see that. Now, both of these were done earlier this year, last year. And there we go. But both from the same winter storm, which was in October. And this one that you're going to be, I was working on today, was also done from the same storm that was here. It was quite a storm. I mean, it totally wiped things out. And I really liked this. It's a particular one, but it was a little more complex. The shapes are a little bit, I have to simplify them. And I'll explain to you what I mean. But it was interesting to me because it was still fall. There were still some leaves, but not as many. So as you can see, the idea here was, this is the photograph of a street scene covered with snow. Most of the leaves were gone, but there were a few left. And I changed it to grayscale, which you can see here I changed it to grayscale. And to simplify it, but even when you do that, you can see there's just a lot of, there's not clear areas of light and dark. You have some linear quality, and then the other thing I did is I put it on a grid. And but it's not real clear. I mean, you've got this dark, and then you have the dark in here, and I think and the darks along the banks here. But you'll see as I go on and show you how I worked with the design and value. In the end, I think I made it a little darker than I wanted, and I can change that. So, but with the painting that I was working on, here we go. With the painting that I was working on, basically, the ones that I just showed you of the portraits, they're very detailed, whereas this one I'm being much more relaxed about. And a little bit more. Now, I actually have the painting here, and this is just an early underpainting of that. But it's a lot darker than I think I wanted to do. So I might just take the whole thing and basically take the whole thing, and I might even do it right here in front of you. Put some white on it. And because this is acrylic, now you see I've already gotten it much lighter, but I don't want it quite that light. Maybe I can put it now here I'm getting a mood closer to what I want, but I almost have to do it with removing and I think that kind of shows you closer to what I'm interested in doing. Now you're thinking, what is this? But this is giving me the value structure closer to what I want. Now, I'm going to probably be using, when you have, this is very much the way an impressionist, what I'm going to be using is color vibration. And I'm going to show you how, by using color vibration, I'm going to make this glow. And that's going to be the next project I do. Now, when I work on this painting. Now we're going to see how those oil paintings, the portraits, are going to be dried. And if they're dry, I will be showing you at the next session, and then when those are drying, then I'll be painting this one. So you're going to be able to see how, now that I have the value structure, the way closer to the way I want it, and if you look very closely, you can see the white coming through underneath here. So I kind of like this, and yeah, I like the way this is going to, I know this is going to work. And, but you're probably wondering, what? Yes, it will work. It's going to work out really well. And you'll see how I use color vibration and neighboring colors and create a glow with this. And you'll see how this is going to really create kind of a mood in everything. So I'm kind of excited about this. it's done very differently. This is more contemporary approach to painting. It's going to be very quickly, relatively quickly done, whereas the other one is a Flemish painting style with a grisaille and all this stuff. So I think that you'll see how sometimes when you're working on a painting, especially when you're doing, you have to sometimes be working on several paintings at the same time. Watercolorists do that all the time because they're put a wash in and then they have to let it dry, so they go on and do something else and they come back, and that's how they get their work done. So I think that you'll find this to be really helpful. So for those of you who would like to know a little bit more about how you can improve your painting, I have a course called Intermediate Color Principles that is from my Mix Perfect Colors Painlessly series, and it will help you work with value and color and help you create illusions of space and shape using color and using value. You're going to see that in the demonstrations I do, but this particular course goes in depth with that. And those of you who are in my Color Foundations course, I want you to know I have a new unit for you on mixing colors and matching hues and changing the hues and changing the values, rather changing the hues to match and yet keeping the values the same. I think you'll find that to be really intriguing, and it'll really build your skill in color mixing and in helping you to show how you can vary a painting if you keep the relative values. Now, for those of you who don't know hardly anything about color mixing, I have a wonderful course that you can see anytime, day or night, on your laptop, phone, whatever, and it's available for you, 7 essential simple tricks to mix color. And that course, I want you to know, is going to be really a great foundation for you. I give in that course a warm and cool of each primary, explain how you select which primary, whether it's warm or cool, with another primary to make a glowing secondary and to make a more subdued secondary. And then I also talk about other ways that you can alter the intensity and the value and the hue of a color using tints, tones, shades, and complements. So I think you'll find that this course has got almost everything you need to know about mixing color. In addition, I talked to you about color vibration, which we're also going to be doing in the project, that the landscape project. So all of that you get